In the time of the Crusades, one of the reasons why the response was a delayed one was because when a contingent went from Syria to Baghdad to call the Caliph for assistance, he was involved, and they were involved in Baghdad in preparing for the Caliph's second wife to arrive from Isfahan. It was a moment of celebration and joy, and the contingent that went from Damascus to Baghdad to warn the Caliph and to alert the Caliph and the people that they've lost Jerusalem and the Muslims in Jerusalem have been slaughtered, whole scale mass murder of a people. When they went with this concern, they were pushed back because the ones in Baghdad were so concerned about the Caliph's feelings and the fact that they were celebrating this enjoying celebration of enjoyment. That's called like a buffer that sedates. It's a sedating buffer. It's enough to keep people, uninvolved, distracted, because they're seeing the sight, the celebration, the spectacle of this, and that's enough to sedate them. A similar thing happened in 1966, in fact, when there was a genocide happening in Indonesia. About 1 million people were killed in that civil war. At the same time, you had the World Cup, 1966, and Britain wins the World Cup, and it's by the time the news story reach the Western world, there isn't an interest, because the feeling of jubilation and success and celebration was too much in the public. The same thing happened in the time when they say the people landed on the moon in America. At the same time, there was a massacre in Vietnam called the My Lai massacre, and there was a slaughter of innocent people, villages, villagers, shepherds in the village. And the My Lai massacre, when the news story reaches the shores of America, the interest wasn't there really, because people were celebrating the fact that America landed on the moon. All of these things are just distractions. They're just there to displace us, distract us, and to sedate us from the real issues. It reminds me of the words of Stéphane Hessel in his book called Nouvez-vous, The Time for Outrage. And he says that we call for a mass public uprising of the youth, of our young people, against the means of mass communication that offer nothing but mass consumption as a prospect for our youth, general amnesia, and the outrageous competition of all against all. He's saying that if we're just stuck with the spectacle of watching all of the fanfare happening in Trump visiting the Middle East, and all of the spectacle and the show of all of these things, and the dances and the music, and all of this is distracting us, that we can't see what's happening in Gaza. We can't see the mass killing. We can't see the genocide. We can't see the outrage of all things around us that should really affect us in so many ways and call us to action, because we're distracted by these buffers that sedate us and provide us with this temporary distraction away from things that should really affect the world.